relatives, but I want to kill them, and you can give each one of us some of his relatives to kill them. So the prophet thought about it, and he was like, I have a problem. Two of them, they have opposing views. I want the money, but I don't want Omar to be upset. So what he did, he was like, okay, I will get the ransom. So he exchanged the people, most of them, for ransom. And then next day he was crying. And when Omar said, "What are you crying for?" He said, "Well, Allah was not happy." And he revealed a verse to me, which the verse we read, 867, he said, Allah sided with you, Omar. You were right from the beginning, but I was wrong with Abu Bakr. Now we are just crying. After we took all the money, after we exchanged everything, it seems that Allah waited until the whole film ended, the whole movie ended. Then he intervened. My question will be like, where were you, Allah? You watched the whole thing. Well, Gabriel didn't have didn't have transportation to come quickly before the transaction happens. Especially, it takes days to negotiate and days to make the whole deal. As we see now with between Hamas and Israel, it takes a lot of effort back and forth and disagreement. So it took days to come to a conclusion. And Gabriel and Allah, they were just watching the deal. And then when the deal was done and almost everybody was freed, then Allah revealed his verse and he said, "I'm not happy with that. You should have killed them all."
Well, to be fair to Muhammad, Gabriel, according to Muhammad, is terrified of puppies. So maybe there was a puppy in the camp and Gabriel couldn't come until everything was all done.
Probably.
Maybe something like that. Okay, so we've got Hamas. Hamas did exactly what the Quran says they're supposed to do. Is this all we have in Islam on captives and hostages?
No, and probably some people will not believe what I said, but I can read some texts here that are authentic. If you want to read from Sahih Muslim, book 32, Hadith 69, and I can show it to the viewers. If you don't mind, I can put it on screen.
Okay, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
The Muslims that day, i.e., the day of the Battle of Badr, killed 70 persons and captured 70. The Messenger of Allah said to Abu Bakr, "And what is your opinion about these captives?" Abu Bakr said, "They are our kith and kin. I think you should release them after getting from them a ransom. This will be a source of strength to us against the infidels. It is quite possible that Allah may guide them to Islam." Then the Messenger of Allah said, "What is your opinion, Ibn Khattab?" He said, "Messenger of Allah, I do not hold the same opinion as Abu Bakr. I am of the opinion that you should hand them over to us that we may cut off their heads. Hand over Aql to Ali that he may cut off his head, and hand over such and such relative to me that I may cut off his head. They are leaders of the disbelievers and veterans among them." The Messenger of Allah approved the opinion of Abu Bakr and did not approve what I said. The next day, when I came to the Messenger of Allah, I found that both he and Abu Bakr were sitting shedding tears. I said, "Messenger of Allah, why are you and your companion shedding tears? Tell me the reason, for I will weep, or I will at least pretend to weep in sympathy with you." That's funny.
I like that.
I'll either weep or I'll pretend to weep in sympathy with you. The Messenger of Allah said, "I weep for what has happened to your companions for taking ransom from the prisoners. I was shown the torture to which they were subjected. It was brought to me as close as this tree."
I mean, there you go, and I can show also like the references. So in case somebody want to go and check it, because we're not making this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
It,
So how does this connect to? I mean, you already gave some of the historical background. How does this connect to Surah 8 verse 67?
Well, it connects to it because Allah was used in this case, that Allah is bloodthirsty. He wanted more people to be killed. Muhammad was a little bit more merciful than Allah, and also it shows that Hamas, they had this in mind. There is no way you can be a terrorist or somebody who studied the Quran, memorized it. There is no way this will not come to your mind during the day of October 7th. Especially they read the Quran before the start. They had a chance. They were saying Allahu Akbar. Everything around it is religious. So they are bringing that historical background to the battle, and they are believing if they die, they are like the Muslims who died during that day, and if they get some spoils of war, they are going to do the same thing like Muhammad. There is a story on that same battle. There were two guys. They were captives, but they were not exchanged for ransom. We had a guy, his name is Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt. I can show the name so people will know how to look them up on Google or something, because the names are in Arabic. There's Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, and there is another Ibn al-Harith. These two guys, Muhammad took them. I mean, according to war ethics among Arabs before Islam, if somebody doesn't have a sword, he lost his sword or he surrendered, you're not allowed to kill him. That's it. You should just deal with him as a prisoner of war. These guys, they were taken as prisoners. They didn't have any swords, but Muhammad